Wilber's system is best summed up in his statement, "I have one major rule: everybody is right." More specifically, everybody, including me, has some important pieces of truth, and all of those pieces need to be honored, cherished, and included in a more gracious, spacious, and compassionate embrace. It is exactly this sentiment that underlies the New Age hegemony of relativism and subjectivism, of everyone having their own experiences, their own path, their own truth. In such a system, it becomes impossible for people to reach the one, absolute, objective truth of existence which grounds everything. In order to reach the truth, the task is not to pretend to people that they are all right, but to show where they have gone wrong, where they have strayed from reason and logic, where they have succumbed to irrationalism via emotionalism, sensory empiricism, faith, and mysticism. Wilber adopts a fully irrationalist stance when he claims that the enlightened are what he calls trans-rational, i.e. they have somehow transcended reason and logic and thus reached the zone, according to Wilber, where they can apprehend absolute reality. In fact, absolute reality, insofar as it is intelligible, is nothing but the expression of the principle of sufficient reason and its corollary, Occam's razor. How do we eliminate the infinite wrong answers to existence and reach the one, infallible right answer to existence? It's simplicity itself. The answer to existence is the simplest and most rational possible. That's exactly how we can identify it. Any answer that is not rational is irrational, hence false. Any answer that is not the simplest is wrong because reality would never privilege complexity over simplicity. Reality necessarily follows the path of least resistance, the most economic path. It does not know how to introduce superfluous, needless and pointless complexity. You will never understand the answer to existence if the answer you support is against rationalism and against rational simplicity. By the way, if you find yourself trying to give reasons why the principle of sufficient reason is wrong, you have already acknowledged the primacy of the principle of sufficient reason, hence you are using the principle of sufficient reason in a futile attempt to refute the principle of sufficient reason. That's pure irrationalism right there. You cannot use reasons to argue against reason. Wilber's system, and all such systems, reject the principle of sufficient reason, meaning that they are all irrational. Yet all such systems seek to give reasons why they are right and rationalism is wrong, thus proving just how irrational they are. You can't privilege reason over everything else by giving reasons for your position in order to attack the maximally rational answer to existence. That's a category error. Anyone who claims that reason can be transcended is no longer entitled to furnish reasons for their stance. They must engage in pure faith, irrationalism, emotionalism, empiricism, mysticism, anything other than rationalism. They do not give reasons for their beliefs, they give anti-reasons. Wilber's system, and all such systems, reject the Occam's razor solution, hence are refuted by the fact that they privilege the complex over the simple. That's exactly why they can be dismissed. Remember, Occam's razor is pure rationalism. It's not compatible with irrationalism, which permits any degree of complexity, nonsense. Do you see how the game works? It's simplicity itself. It's entirely rational. Hence there is only one right answer to existence, the simplest rational answer. That's why we know what it is.